of these teams, and we're getting something a little bit different this time around. We're getting a safe lane Slardar.
Yeah, I initially didn't understand the pick because I was like, oh, you know, Slardar versus Abaddon. That's, you know, Abaddon's a counter to Slardar. You take off the amplification. But that's the thing is, safe lane Slardar, that's different because you're playing around your right clicks, you're playing around the bash. It's not just about amping the enemy team and being that kind of buff hero for your team. So it does make sense, the pick. It's a little crazy, but there's a lot of these, you know, earlier style safe laners that are being picked up. So it's not so different from the meta that we're seeing develop. Even on the other side, you have a safe lane SF.
Feels like this is going to be a draft that plays very, very quickly. Ooh, that arrow very close to Nisha, figuring, you know, why not check that tree line? But also getting treated to the Smail Storm Spirit. I'm sure our observer is very excited for that. That is already a difficult hero to be obsing, and when it's Smail, it's even crazier.
You know, I personally have some trauma associated with the Smail Storm Spirit.
All right, let's delve into this.
Back when he was a completely unknown, it's like, oh, there are these Hassan brothers that are in NA playing for terrible Root Gaming who were awful. And we're like, Leviathan, we're like, oh, we're going to stomp these guys. They got Storm for Smail, and they got Yawar his Morphling, and they obliterated us. Like, it was something else. I was like, this guy's going to win a TI someday.
I mean, you weren't wrong.
No, I was talking about Yawar.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, you know, there's still the possibility there.
Both of them felt just insane, but the Smail Storm in particular was like, it didn't feel balanced.
No, this guy knows the ins and outs of this hero so well.
And it's been so buffed in terms of the zip range that you can get now. And it was always about those, you know, big zips with him, getting out on really low mana. Yeah, it's a good patch for him to play this hero.
And it's actually crazy to think about, like, when Smail first came onto the scene, how little he was, right? He was an actual child. And we're seeing that now, you know, coming out with some of these new up-and-comings, like BZM and Amar. But it's been a while since we've seen these child prodigies, so to speak. Got a long career ahead of them.
Not a very common thing in Dota these days. It's all oldies. Got a bunch of them up here in this lane. Yapstar's probably the youngest out of this group.
I don't know. How old is Insania?
He's 27.
Is he?
I think so. He's in 93. Okay. I think.
He's born in the 90s.
He's a 90s kid. Does that count? He's a baby even.
Yeah, they're born in the 90s because they're 90s.
Yeah, but he doesn't remember half of it.
That doesn't mean
the 90s ended in like 2005 anyway, but what's going on up here? Okay, Ice, so he does the typical Doom thing these days of going Scorched Earth first. You push the first wave with that ability. The cooldown on it was lowered massively at level 1, and the damage was increased as well. So it's just such a great ability to constantly spam, especially with the IO. Constant regen.
Now, I know Shiver mentioned on the desk, like, this is not typical of Yapster, right? You were so used to seeing Yapster play, like, more of these greedy supports that can really do a lot of damage and make these plays. Ooh, nice save there from Matu. Zania getting clicked down quite a bit. Do we feel like he's going to fare as well in this situation? Because right now, like, Smail's the big playmaker when you look at what's coming out of the side of Team Secret. Ice eventually, you know, he'll be able to get a Blink Dagger, he'll get a War Stomp, you know, things like that to help initiate. But is there just so much pressure on Smail? Like,
I think so. That's the question that I was thinking, looking at these drafts, is like, it's basically team no stuns versus team everybody has a stun. Smail is really the only guaranteed lockdown. It's a fairly long cooldown. Ice, once he gets some levels, like, he's, you know, okay, but these other heroes, it's just nothing. Like, the two supports especially, you can just TP away from them. Like, IO Abba, you're really banking on saving people, baiting things, and 5-manning, as well as pickoffs, of course. With Storm, you're going to get a lot of pickoffs. With Doom, you're going to get a lot of pickoffs.
Storm isn't that hero, though, anymore that, like, can just hit the level 6 and start making plays. This is a hero that tends to like to farm a little bit more, too. Is this...
I do think
concerned about that?
I do think the Soul Ring build that people have been doing fairly recently does actually open it up that you can make plays.
Okay.
I think that there was a long time where Storm wasn't that hero anymore, but I think with Soul Ring, it is kind of back to that, as well as the fact that the ult mana cost has been reduced patch after patch. So I do think you can be pretty active now. But there was like 3 years there where you legit couldn't. Like, Storm was not on the same level as Ember and Void.
No, he definitely fell out of favor for quite a while, especially when the Void Spirit was introduced. That was like the big new one. It was very hard to pin him down. And like you said, you know, in the past, we'd see like the Puck versus Void Spirit. That was pretty much the constant.
Yep, every game. Of course, a little annoying down here, but I do feel like SF does fairly decently against it, just because you can get arrowed, I guess. But, you know, that's an ABBA, so... I like where Puppy is playing this lane. He's playing to the right, so he's not going to get himself arrowed, which means he can always save Nisha from the arrow. So he's just kind of sitting here and heal-botting Nisha, which is not super typical for Abaddon these days. A lot of the time you would see an ABBA, you know, run in and be this tank, but that's exactly what a Beast plus Mirana wants. So you can arrow him and then kill him. He obviously can't take the arrow off of himself.
And a Vessel's going to be so key in this game. Just because of the fact they have so much healing coming out from the side of Seeker, right? You've got that, and you've got, you know, YapzOr on the IO.
I've heard people say that ABBA counters Vessel. I've heard the same thing about AA because he...
Because it's the borrow.
He has like...
thing, or no?
Because of the bubble. The bubble is just like raw...
Shield, yeah.
Yeah, the shield is like raw damage reduction as opposed to healing. But the IO, like, yeah, of course, you're gonna want to get a Vessel versus IO. Otherwise, the hero just controls the game entirely.
Yeah, it's insane the amount of...
Holy Locket, you've Satanic on every hero, basically.
The amount of heal coming out from IO with the Holy Locket is just absolutely disgusting nowadays, for being really honest here.
How are these lanes going? 12 denies for Nisha, which fairly typical for SF. The safe lane SF, man, you have to kill it. You can't just sit here and outlane it. At some point, he just out-denies you because he has more damage and minus armor than any other hero in the game. So usually you look to rotate to him with either your mid or some other support or an aggressive lane.
I think we'll probably see a rotation come out from the side of Liquid, right? Probably, you know, the X marks the spot is just so good with the Torrent Boat combo when you're trying to go after something like the SF.
Yeah, I think right now is good. Like 6-minute mark, you've got the catapult spawning. Maybe when Beast gets his helm. On both sides, this is a big timing. You have the catapult coming out. Ice obviously ate his in the lane. Or did he eat it? I think he probably ate it. Well, we're going to cooldown now. Where's the catapult? There it is. He's going to eat it. Saving the Devour for the catapult. It's one super underrated thing, I think, about Doom Mirana. Maybe not so much about Mirana. People always talk about it with Mirana. You kill the catapult and all of a sudden stops the push for most heroes.
I don't even think it's underrated.
For Mirana, it's not. For Doom, I think it is. So much damage.
Does everybody poke? It's a very calm game. We're hitting the 6-minute mark. No kills just yet.
I feel like that's all the time these days.
No, that's not true because NA, I started to say that and then all of a sudden, like, all hell breaks loose.
In NA?
Yeah, I've had, you know, EU maybe a little bit more.
In EU, it seemed a little
more measured.
It's a bit
There's a lot more discipline, trying to get to those timings. So it's interesting because the early part seems to slow down quite a bit. But then once you hit those timings, like we saw in the first game, right, with Liquid, with the Beastmaster, sorry, not Beastmaster, with the Bristleback, it's just go time, and they just run at you. So it's one of those conversations we were talking about with SVG, how Dota has, like, the players have just gotten so good now over time that it's every little minuscule thing that can really give you the advantage. Mickey is just getting clicked down here by Sumail. He's gonna go in for that boat, just a little bit more help here.
Bro, that is such a... That is so Sumail to just force shit out like that.
Well, he had a region.
I don't want to watch this. This is bringing back like bad memories. This is rough for me.
Matu in the top lane getting clicked down by the spirits. Insania, though, still nearby, has a mango if necessarily. Can go and throw out that nightmare, use the brain sap, whatever necessary. But he is getting clicked down here by Ice. Nice little juke here. Turns around, brain saps. It'll be all right, but sitting a bit low.
You know, arguably the more important thing that happens whenever Dooms make these plays with the Scorched Earth is that behind you, you kill the entire wave. So it results in you having this like huge double wave, or in this case, at least it's, you know, 2 range creeps, where all of a sudden the enemy team can't pressure you, and you just rinse and repeat this throughout the whole game. Like you use Scorched Earth and you run at them, and you don't necessarily like commit to diving the tower or anything, but you say, okay, if you come and try to fight us, you're gonna be fighting into this like, you know, 40 damage per second or whatever it is. And you kill the wave.
From Sumail's gonna tether up here with the After Boxy, though nearby. Is he gonna be able to save him, though, is the question. It's gonna be enough. A couple more clicks from Sumail. Good arrow, buys just a bit more time, but does it forward here. Mickey running for his life. Sumail out of mana. Right, Yapster being tethered to him, and it is the Arcane Rune top. They're gonna try to hold on to a top lane. Ice is left alone, so they're trying to make a play with this. Go for the crush, couple more hits over to Ice. That's gonna be the first blood. Recognizing Io's not there, so they'll be able to find the kill, but Boxy now will fall, thanks to that rotation here.
Damn, Sumail ended up getting the Arcane Rune. I feel like...
I was surprised that they didn't I guess they
thought
tried to be
Boxy was-
greedy.
Yeah, I thought Boxy was close to it.
Yeah, he was. And I wasn't sure if he was going to try to deny it, pick it up, or I guess they saved it for Mickey.
They're trying to get it for Mickey, yeah, and so ends up actually giving it to Sumail.
That's a bit of a disaster.
Yeah, not a rune you want your Storm to, you want the enemy Storm to get. You can see on the top lane, by the way, just the strength of Slardar versus Doom. This is exactly why they picked it, despite picking into the ABBA, is that you know that like anytime the support leaves the lane, it's just a free kill on ice, especially if the tower is up by the, or if the creep wave is up by the tower. You just run him down, bash him over and over again. There's no way that he can TP out.
They're gonna look to make a rotation here, but Mickey and Boxy also making their way top. So zip in over onto Boxy, hoping that they can get a quick pick off. So they'll be able to burst down Boxy. The follow up though with that torrent into the boat. Be a little bit more damage. Can they finish off the man that was going to be able to just pull lightning away? Is Puppy coming in for the save? They use the Doom over onto Matu. Gets the bash off here. Mickey trying to just give a little bit of space. Oh, the zip forward from Sumail. He'll get himself the double kill. As they'll land the torrent over onto 2. They want to get anything that they can out of this, but YapzOr is just still so survivable as Insania now trying to hide away in the tree line. Mickey going back in.
Dire's top tower is under
But there's not much that he can really do as Insania continues to hide up in the tree line. It does open up the bottom though. A little bit of positive shining here for Zai, so he's going to be able to put pressure, but Sumail's just been super, Insania? Yeah, he's definitely dead there. Super effective though with these rotations.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when I see something like this, I just think like they need to be picking him more Storm. It looks so good from him. He's getting all of the runes. His RNG is good, as well as, you know, able to contest those runes. He's getting tons of kills. He's using his mana until the absolute last drop and then surviving in typical Sumail fashion.
We're looking to use Aurora here. Already secret.
Hard to run into a Beastmaster like this because you know that he's going to have vision of you. He sees the TP away.
Yeah.
They do the IO relocate though.
A little bit of a nap time here in the top lane. They still want to put pressure on this tower, and Insania having to be very careful here.
Radiant's
already
bottom tower is
going
under
to back
attack.
off though, seeing that Nisha and YapzOr. There's the bottom tower, will go down.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
And they'll probably just end up doing a bit of a trade here with this party wave.
And when you're playing the Beastmaster, you definitely want to take the tower. Fighting into him requires smoke because otherwise you're going to walk through hot vision. He's just going to get away. You waste your time. So you take the trade.
I was laughing because, you know, you mentioned that Sumail's, you know, good rotations, he's getting good runes, you know, all of this stuff. And I used to, just remembering how I used to troll Kyle. Oh, Kyle was like, you have to, yeah, you know, you're like, this 50-50 split of the runes, it's so stupid, blah, blah, blah. And I would be like, well, just be the better mid, Kyle.
Just be Sumail, yeah.
Just be the better mid. The better mid will always get the rune. And you can't argue with that, but he gets so mad.
Whoever is the higher rank on Dota Plus for their hero. And Sumail, surprisingly, is not that high rank on Storm because he obviously played most of his games on this hero, like pre-Dota Plus. But whoever has more games on Storm tends to get the, you know, the arcanes and the regens. And I believe we saw him have one regen, one arcane so far.
Yeah, he's gotten very lucky.
It always tends to be true. It's also true that the teams that are playing around Storm Spirit often are the ones that are going for and defending those runes, because good Storms will tell you how important they are.
Sumail, you know, Gaben's most beloved son, the Ice Frog.
It's either Sumail or Quinn, because Quinn always gets runes as well on his Void
They
Spirit.
favor those NA mid players, dude.
They do, yeah.
They really do. Double damage over on Ice. A little bit of scouting going on, but you could see before Zai was trying to make his way over to the mid tower, but a good scan made sure that everybody just backed out.
Zai just taking out the enemy jungle. We've gone to farming on kind of both sides here. It's 6.
The Doom over on Insania, and that'll be a dead Vayne eventually.
I think whoever sees the other first there is the one that goes for the kill, although the IO relocate save was there if Insania did ult. So honestly, I think you're kind of okay stoking the Doom here, Insania.
Yeah, I think so. Where's Zip? Here's Zip. I see a Boxy. I see a leap coming out from the Mirana. Good crush here from Machi, but the Zip forward again from Sumail should ensure that they get the kill on Mirana. And now Machi just gets right back to farming. Mickey's here. 3 joining in. Gets the X marks the spot over onto YapzOr. Be able to land the torrent. Both they have enough burst damage. Those questions. He doesn't have the tether at the very least. So not going to be able to escape that way, but he's still fairly tanky here.
Yeah, early chainmail, so he's super tanky. Of course, the cleave no longer pure damage like it once was. It is based on armor, so the more armor you have, the less damage you're going to take from that. And he survives. Io's a like deceptively tanky hero. I think you were saying in the first game.
Yeah, he's a strength hero.
It's a strength hero. You don't think about it, but it's fairly tanky.
Pressure's on over in the mid lane. They have the Hellbear Smasher along with the Boars. Try to put out some of this damage over onto the tower. They'll use the fortification. Feels like they want to try to push them off, but they're not quite sure. X-Mark the spot over onto Nisha. Gonna poke a little bit. The zip forward though coming out from Smale. Ice joining in. They keep going after Boxy, but they do have to be careful because Insania, again, nearby, has Fiend's Grip, has a Nightmare, has ways to slow down the storm if necessary.
Yeah, I mean, that defends the tower. The little zip like that, just showing Liquid that they're willing to commit to a fight on the side of Secret. It's enough to force them back, which I think if you're Secret, you're fairly happy with that because it's not easy for them currently to defend against a Beastmaster. They don't have great AoE to deal with the summons right now. Maybe later on into the game when you're one-shotting them with SF and Storm has higher levels, more zip mana, you're gonna have the Doom, who's gonna have Devour, things like that. Like it's multiple Dooms as well. Like it's easier to fight, but right now I think Secret's okay with stalling.
Yeah, it's 15 minutes right now. We're not quite at that crazy level of attack. Beam Script coming out, though, from Insania. They're going to use that relocate, though. They need to be able to take down Doom fast. They will be able to do it. The zip forward, though, they're going to drag back over on Insania. Matu, though, has his eyes over onto Yap, so the zip forward coming out from Smale. Going to follow up and gets the crush off, but they should be able to relocate. Oh, they get the XF, though, over on Smale. He's going to get tossed up into the air. He still has some mana, though. He's going to try to pull lightning out. Manages to go dodge the boat. He's out, though. Can they get there in time? This Isle coming in. No! The cleave from Mickey.
The big boy. I don't know why I did an accent there, but that was great.
I don't know, but like,
fantastic.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Sometimes you just go Southern when,
I don't even think that was Southern.
Whatever.
It's a little bit of Scottish mixed with... I don't know. I really don't know.
It's an accent, that's for sure. Ice, TPs to the bot lane. I really love this Soul Ring on Doom. It functions as like a pseudo Midas along with the Midas because you use it and you get a free Devour plus your W. You can farm multiple camps and multiple creep waves at the same time with that. So on Doom, it's kind of a farming and a fighting item. That's always the heroes that feels really nice on.
I feel like we have not seen Zai in a hot minute. He's just been allowed to just hit up this jungle. Not sitting at the top of the net worth by any means, but definitely being allowed just a lot of room down here.
I think one part of that is generally this is just a good static Beastmaster game is one where you're just chilling, you have control of this entire bottom area, you're by yourself, which means your team can take over that top area, you get extra farm that way, but also he doesn't want to just get his creep devoured.
Right.
That sucks. So he's waiting until he gets the ancient creep, that's a huge timing. They're not going to be able to kill that as easily.
Smoke play coming out from the side of Liquid. Insania is going to be the first one to be revealed, but they're on the high ground. They see Puppy, they see Smale. They get the Nightmare immediately over onto the Io. They're going to try to get the arrow off, follow that into the boat. So they'll be able to reduce here, get rid of Yap, so one less person, but that Record of Souls pushing them back. Mickey still looking for anything that he can get for a grab. He's going to run out of vision. They'll have to be satisfied with just Yapster for the time being, and you can see Secret immediately walking over to their high ground. A very deep ward being placed here by Insania. Tell what their next objective is looking like.
That was pretty cool. Mickey was trying to use the tower vision there. He let the tower shoot him, and then he was using the tower vision in order to try to hit an X there, which is really cool. Super heads-up play. Speaking of vision, Insania is just absolutely abusing this night vision that Bane has. He has whatever his nightmare range is on night vision.
Trying to make the jump over onto Poppy. They'll find that pick off. Very nicely done. Mickey going back in. The roar, though, coming out from the side, throwing out the axes. Immediately, the buyback coming out from a bad. Poppy wants to be a part of this fight, but the officer is going to click down over on the side. Be able to take down Zai. And they got the Doom over onto Mickey, but not going to be able to finish off here. Matu nearby. Arrow lands over onto Smale. That'll slow him down for a moment, but of course, they do have the Apodic Shield purged off.
I'm not sure who that favors. I think that's kind of a one-for-one.
Kind of a wash. Yeah. I guess it's Zai going down, like it's your offlaner.
Yeah.
It's obviously more valuable than your...
But you use buyback as well on Puppy, and
True.
I do honestly think that his buyback in an upcoming fight could be important, because we could see what happened there as soon as he died. All of a sudden, Liquid are totally comfortable, throwing arrows, roaring, fiends gripping, like... it's a really good game for Abba to be alive and to dispel. There's a bunch of things that he needs to dispel, like one spell from every single hero, essentially, on Liquid. Barring maybe Kunkka, you could argue.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Only a 1k net worth lead over to the side of Secret. This game is still so tightly knit here. The drag back over onto Mickey. Boxy jumping forward though, does have the Starstorm.
He's got BKB haster, and I mean, he's god mode right now on Mickey. At this point, with the BKB and a haste, you feel so strong. Oh, they have
the opportune moment. They even have the full Helm of the Overlord completed now. We've got that dragon.
Yep.
Radiant's
Nisha went for a Manta, so he sent some Mantas in.
Radiant's
Why didn't he go for a Manta? There's a lot of good things to disjoint in this game, at least in terms of like a Bane walks in, you Manta, he doesn't know which is the real one. You know, same thing for Beastmaster, doesn't know what to roar. Slardar, you take off the amplification. A decent Manta game, for sure.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Alright, rest of the Beastmaster Zoo getting into position, not to activating that Mask of Madness. But they are in the Roche pit. Now
they don't want to make this trade. This
is scary right now because they are right underneath vision. They have a ward. Look at the way that Team Liquid is making their way over there immediately. They do have a sentry. Zania is going to drop his own sentry, immediately realizing, okay, gonna have to approach us from another angle. They do force him out of the Roche pit. And again, what our panel said, if they can get in the Roche pit on the side of Liquid, stuff is gonna melt.
Yeah. And that is precisely why Liquid doesn't want to just give it up for trading for this bottom tower. I almost always feel like the bottom tower trade that happens whenever you see Dire going to take that tier 2, it often favors the team that gets the Roche, because you just get the Roche and then you use the Roche to take the other tier 2 anyway, so you're not getting this tier 2 advantage by doing that. So I feel like, yeah, sending Zai down bot and then having him slowly progress towards the tier 2 tower and having everybody else play near the Roche pit makes a lot more sense. And shout out to Insania for that beautiful ward right in front of the Roche pit as they move towards the bot area. That protects them from this play. They know that that's happening, and they've also got the Hawk, so that's going to help out now.
Vision game pretty strong coming out from the side of Liquid. As they walk back into the pit, they've got everything to let them know exactly where they are. And look at the way that they're positioned here. Secret trying to be very careful. Arrow's gonna get tossed out, land directly over onto the
bottom tower.
TSF. They've got the Aphotic Shield, and they'll get the dewarding, finally. Bottom tower, though, is getting chipped away by the Cardi, and Secret, they don't feel comfortable enough being in this pit, knowing that Liquid knows that they're over there. Continue to move forward on the side of Liquid. They're over on the high ground here for Secret.
Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Nisha's back in the pit.
Stupendous!
They know this is happening.
They're trying to figure out the angle. Liquid sending in some of these, sending the Hawk, sending the Dragon. Going to casually interrupt. Again, they're still smoked for the most part, other than Insania. This Roche sitting at half health. You can feel not the desperation, but just
tension, anxiety.
Yeah.
I like to call it Roche anxiety. Both teams know how important it is. It's this thing that can be, you know.
It's tangible.
Yeah. One snatch, and all of a sudden, you know, you lose the game because of somebody just making like one crazy play. Also, like, you can have your Storm zip in and just die and not snatch it, and then you lose an Aegis. And so he's
Oh, he walked right over into Insania and Matu. They've got the Fiend Script. Can they do enough damage in time to don't for my side to get the top of over onto 2? He's going to be able to protect some mail. They'll go when they just make sure that they can remove him from this issue here. As again, the Slardar just continues to hit. He has been doomed, but he's not too concerned as Mickey's going right back in again. We'll punish Ice. Zip over onto that line, so they're going to try to get rid of Boxy. They have the dust, they've got the vision, they'll be able to get the kill. So getting into position here, the zip forward over onto Mickey. He's got the BKB, but they'll drag back over onto Zai, and that's a big wreck with. They're not going to be able to get anything else over from Zai. Zai buying back, gets right into the fight again as Mickey going in, wants to get the kill over to Puppy. Puppy Fox, there's going to be the borrowed time. As now Zai goes for the roar. Will connect over onto Nisha. Ice is here though. They'll get the kill on Puppy, but it's not looking for Matu because he's going to be the next one full. Zai trying to fight through. He's not going to be able to, but they end up taking down Nisha as Mickey looks to the open, gets the X off over onto Ice. The fall from Matu. He popped back. He wants to be a part of this fight, and he will help clean up as they march into that Roche pit. He's sitting a little bit over half health now, but you know that's not going to last for very long.
It is Sumail, though. Be careful.
It is indeed, and he is getting ready. Can he time it, though, is the question. Air tossed out here, and Sania going to get into position, wanting to make sure that they can protect this Roche.
Nah, he's not as ballsy as he once was, it seems, on the Storm. Old Sumail would have gone for that. Well, not old Sumail, because he's old now, but I mean, you know.
A youthful, less experienced,
Sumail.
more bold and brash
yeah.
Sumail.
He might have died. Who am I kidding? He wouldn't have died, but, you know, that's...
Sounds like you've got a little bit of trauma coming back from this when you were playing against Root Gaming, friend.
Radiant's top
Those
tower
were the days.
is
There's an
under
arcane
attack.
rune.
And here's a replay. Oh my
That
god.
creep, man, that creep. The arrow, I think, let's see, what would that have hit? I think that would have hit flipped ice. Maybe there. And so he wouldn't get the Doom off. I mean, it still turns out in favor of Liquid, but sometimes the neutrals are just...
It could have gone even better.
Yeah, sometimes the neutrals are MVP for like one team or another. I mean, they're truly neutral, so that's fair.
Yes.
The boat off, Sumail in chasing Boxy uses almost all of his
Radiant's
mana.
middle tower is under
I can't
attack.
believe that, like, oh my god. Sumail just shows up, right?
Doom times out though, so Mickey able to get back in, Matumba able to get back in, Zai goes down, he buys back. Both offlaners actually end up buying back and then dying in this fight.
It was good control of Zai during that. He didn't get the roar off initially. Imagine how different that goes again if they're able to get it.
Taking him out early is really important, specifically because of the aura. I mean, the aura is very important if Abba is dead, which he is at this point in the fight, but also just the aura is such an empowering factor at this point. And Ice dies back again. You know, both of the offlaners.
There's a lot of buybacks
have a
going
rough
on
one.
during all of that.
Yeah,
There's so much.
both of these games, just tons of buybacks being saved on both sides for these crucial objectives and being used.
Scan. They know exactly where they are over on the side of Secret. They're grouped together. They go for the D ward. Oh, they have, yeah. There's the Solar Crest completed now for Puppy. Skirting around though, Sania finding this opening. It's gonna land over onto the Abath. The Zip 4 though coming up from Sumail. The feed script though and the roar on top of each other. Boxy leaps for it. They want to try to get up enough damage, but they're not gonna be able to. Again, that Requiem Missile forcing them back, but the Zip on the back line. They got the 2 bombs, so they'll kill Mickey. Monty was chasing after Sumail, but he's gonna get out of there because there's just too many heroes now. What engagement.
Yapsor takes Sumail too, back for a quick trip to the fountain, so you're going to have a Storm Spirit that is fully healed up. Is there any vision for him to jump? No, there's not.
Dyer's middle tower is
I mean, when
under
has that
attack.
ever stopped him?
Yeah, that's true.
Dyer's structures are
The Doom onto
fortified.
Mickey there was really important for that fight. If Kunkka gets all of his spells off, it's a big problem, because then you can just delay the Doom, right? You get the Ghost Ship off and all of a sudden, like, the Doom times out and it didn't do any damage. Rum buff hits, and you can go back in. Heal up, go back in. He's really crucial for like the disable as well.
That X marks the spark spot is like so important.
Yeah, it's the only thing that can't be dispelled by a Phonic Shield. So really, in terms of disable, like it is the one thing that if you stop, you're not going to have any lockdown. Also, Doom being a percentage damage hero with Infernal Blade, you can definitely feel free to Doom Kunkka. You know, it's not like his massive HP pool is a problem for you. You can basically, because of this percentage damage, you can basically choose to Doom and kill whoever you'd like. It's not like you have to pick a squishy target on Doom. That's never been an issue.
Got a BKB completed now for Storm Spirit and for Doom, so these fights are going to have less control this time around here for Liquid. I mean, they still have great methods of lockdown, right? You've got
Radiant are scanning.
the Nightmare, rather not the Nightmare, you've got the Fiend Script, you've got the Roar, you've got options, and of course you've just got Slardar's kit in general. And Sania needing to be a bit careful though. They'll go for the Moonlight Shadow. The Zip 4 from Sumail. Gets some Roar though into an arrow. He's only got the BKB. Not going to be able to lock him down for quite long enough. The boat does come through. There's Matu trying to find these openings to get the X off over onto Nisha, but he hits very hard. This Liquid will back off for the moment. Nikkei still looking to see if he can grab anyone. Matu jumping forward over onto Ice. Ice gets a nice bash off. The BKB will be able to save him a little bit longer.
So Ice does not have Doom yet. I feel like if you're Secret, you're cool with this fight going just evenly, just splitting right now.
Yeah, it's coming back up in about 4 seconds.
But you're also down your BKB on Storm and on Doom. So that means that Liquid, with their BKB up on Kunkka, is, as well as their carry Slardar, they're totally happy taking over the triangle. But Secret can fight with Doom fairly soon. Liquid has good vision in the bot lane. Secret running down here is,
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
you can definitely make a move here.
They're making their move too. Look at the way that they're coming over. They don't have Zai though. Oh, never mind. Zai's here. He's gonna show up. The jump forward, gonna stop though up onto Matu. Gonna need a bit of assistance here as they manage to go get the stun off over onto Nisha. Follow the BKB comes up from Mickey. He's trying to get that clean damage. They do get the Doom off. Yeah, they're trying to save them just a little bit longer. Matu's gonna have to back off a little bit. Stop from Ice over onto the back lines. Again, they managed to Doom up Mickey. Matu's gotta get out of there fast. One more hit. Should have been able to do it, but he cannot get the final hit off in time as now Mickey running away. Zai using the roar wants to try to fight just a little bit more time. The arrow comes through, going to land over onto some man, but they follow up here. No, it's not going to be enough. They're able to take down Mickey as Insania and Buxy are running for their lives. Samel already popping that BKB. Zai's used the roar. They have to back off on the side of Liquid. The zip forward though. Samel's not ready to give up. He wants Insania. They drag right back in. They'll get the stun off, but it's not going to be in time here to save the Bane.
Great save from YapzOr in that fight. He saves the Fiend's Grip, but in saving the Fiend's Grip, he also baited there. He let his target get like a little bit low, where he was, you know, 20% HP or something like that, and then mechs. So it baits Liquid into this false sense of security that they have this beautiful grip. The Abba's not able to take the grip off. It was a full duration grip, and yet because of the save, yeah, I think they kind of start onto Abba, and then I think he grips Nisha here. That wasn't Sumail. Sumail was jumping around. Nightmare Sumail, and then grips onto Nisha.
Stupendous.
He preempts this, and then he relocates just a little bit in the distance, lets him get low, so Boxy blinks in. They overcommit. Also, the Doom out onto Mickey again. I didn't realize Matamba got out. That's so low in that
He was
play.
very low. Yeah, one more click would have done the trick from Sumail.
I mean, it's good patience from both teams. Like, Zai almost saving Mickey there. I mean, Mickey's probably dead either way, but having that roar to potentially save him, with no BKB, of course, it's almost impossible. Did you know that, what the hell is it called, that he has? The Fey Grenade.
Yes.
Gives vision to both teams still. So if you use it on Roshan, the enemy team can see Rosh.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Is that intended to work that way?
I would say probably not. But, you know.
High risk, high reward, you know?
Yeah, that's a good way to justify it. Sure, all right, okay. That is a game of many features.
Oh man, that 7 a.m. wake up call is starting to feel it.
It's kicking in, it's kicking in.
But this Dota is so good. That's keeping us amped up, keeping us hyped. Smoke play coming out from Secret. They're gonna just comb through the jungle, see if they can put up some vision, see if they can punish anyone who was hanging out in the area. Puppy keeping tabs here on Zai immediately, though. They'll use Moonlight Shadow, they'll back off. They realize that there's vision.
Yeah, he's way ahead there on Puppy. Just seeing if he can run into like a lowly little Insania, maybe set up for a Storm Zip onto the Bane, but now runs into Zai. Not exactly a great target to start on.
They're deploying all the vision here. Being people out over on Tanisha. Okay, just gonna clean up the creep wave.
And the Enfeeble actually quite effective on it. Reduces him to about 150 damage.
I remember when Enfeeble didn't do anything, man.
From
Radiant's
350.
is under attack.
Look at that fast his tower just goes
Dire's
down.
middle tower has fallen.
He's got the building talent now.
Boxy having to use some of these leaps to get away. Ice
Radiant's
following up.
bottom tower is
Could be a
under
Yule's by a bit more time, but doesn't matter. So Boxy will fall. But now that's left Nisha a little bit vulnerable, but he does have two of his main caregivers nearby. You've got the Abad and you've got the Io. Keep him healthy. No Rosh up just yet.
At this point, with Nisha having Butterfly Satanic, the fact that there aren't that many stuns on the side of Team Secret is not as important because they genuinely can just run around with him and use him effectively as like a tower, because not only does he do a ton of damage, he's got a crazy amount of effective HP, so you can pump all of these heals into him and it's going to be more and more effective on him.
Radiant are scanning.
With Zayev coming out on the courier.
He's just wondering the same thing.
Drum, he's got a drum. Okay, so
Dire's top
more
tower is
team
under
buffing,
attack.
which Drum very effective with his carry Slardar, who's building into that AC. If they can lock onto somebody, they do a lot of damage. I think Matumba, he did not go for the bash talent, actually went for the health talent. So he's playing building for like the off-lane style of Slardar. I mean, it's a lot of HP, so I can understand why people would want to go for it, even under carry Slardar. It's just it's a good talent. It's a really good talent.
Top tower is under attack.
Apparently not, though. The win rate is, well, then again, I feel like if you're snowballing...
Situational. I believe it's,
yeah,
it's a
like,
situational thing.
If you're already winning, you're probably more likely to go for the bash talent. Because, like, I don't need HP, I can just
It
buy
doesn't matter. This stuff is skewed anyways. How many times, you know, have we seen Mantle of Intelligence being bought recently?
That's got a very high win rate, I'll have you know.
Win rate. Those are inflated numbers.
It's very good on Timbersaw in particular, and Mars, for some reason.
Courier has been killed.
Nisha's courier, though, getting sniped is a pretty big deal. That is some crit damage that is not going to be available for him.
Yeah, not Daedalus, actually. He's going for the Silver Edge. So, looking for that kind of positioning element to that item, which I think is very good. I mean, he has enough damage right now. I don't think you need to go for the Daedalus. Silver Edge does a lot of damage, too. Maybe a little bit less. Gives you more of that ability to, like, get in and out of fights.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Once again,
Secret, seeing Insania.
Radiant's
Ice
middle
gonna
tower
step
is
forward
under
here with a
attack.
stomp. That's so much damage coming up from Nisha. Oh, good God.
yeah, I had to click to Ice there to see if he had, like, Alpha Wolf buff or something, because the damage was just so high, but it's just all the burst, as well as Nisha right-clicking so hard.
So this is going to be difficult for them to get anywhere near this pit fast enough, right? Especially when you don't have the Bane that is like a massive part of your control. Do you think they even go? I don't think they get there in time. No.
No, not
They're just going to let Seeker take it.
Radiant's
even with the
middle
buyback
tower is under attack.
on Insania.
Roshan has
Choose not
fallen
to.
to the Radiant.
Okay, and so they give Aegis, to some degree, surprisingly, to Nisha.
Well, I mean, Samael's only died once on Storm. He's
Sure.
pretty hard to get his fingers on. So, I mean, same thing, though, I guess, with Nisha. Nisha's only died once as well.
I think the argument is more so that Nisha is your sieging hero. So he's going to be hitting tower. Sumail's not. So that means you can position him in front and not feel
Dire's
afraid at
top
all.
tower has fallen.
That's what this is about, I think. And Sumail TP back, so this is...
They go for a roar play, though, when they'll get the kill on Samael. They weren't expecting that, it seems. In the top lane, they see Insania. They've got a lot of click damage to be able to remove him.
Well, the reason that works is because simultaneously on the top lane, they were also going on Nisha. They canceled Nisha's TP. He can't get here. This is just a rat.
This is just Yapster by himself. That is that. No.
Nisha has to walk, dude. He's just slowly waddling his way there. There's a free rat.
Radiant's bottom.
That was Insania is dead, but he is the reason he canceled Nisha's TP.
Yeah, no, that is very value. That's not supposed to happen if you're
That
Team
was-
Secret.
That was a dope call. That's into an Aegis.
Look at the creeps in their base too. Look at this. Mickey walks right into Nisha. Puppy is nearby though. It's gonna be a difficult thing to lock down, especially when you do have Ice nearby. But yeah, look at these. They've got a couple parties in there.
Damn, dude. What a play.
Insania's picking up a gem now. They're gonna get some more vision. Liquid. That was a very calculated move. And
That-
paid off.
It feels so bad if you're Secret to get caught with your pants down like that. And, you know,
Dire
it wouldn't
are
work if
scanning.
Bane didn't have that extra night vision for Nightmare. It's
Hell of a thing.
It's one of those things that, like, an Insania was just in the right position there at the right time. Although, like, 1 or 2 seconds off, and that just doesn't work. You're never getting that Rex. No way. No, not against an Aegis. It's not happening.
All right. 4K net worth lead. They still have the Aegis online here for Nisha.
Nisha is actually building for the Daedalus now.
Plans change. Pulls it back over here onto Mickey. Had the X on him, but they've got plenty of damage. That is a Doom down, a BKB on Samael, but a dead Mickey.
Definitely worth it. Definitely worth the trade. Doom BKB for Kunga. He's got no buyback. There's no Roshan. They do have good sieging with SF though, so they might just poke high ground here to see if they'll buy back. And
Cannot buy back.
he won't, because he can't.
Exactly. Buxy. Maybe a little bit too forward here, but
Dire structures are
I'll
fortified.
use the fortification. But look how fast Nisha hits and how hard he hits.
Dire's
Matu, though, he
middle
cut the
tower is
mid-wave.
under attack.
There's a double damage around Roche Pit too.
This is the only wave that they have, so Ice is trying to get this bot wave out.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
I mean, Nisha's still tearing through the buildings pretty quickly here. Matu again continues to
Back
just
doors on.
Good Nightmare buys a bit more time here. It's poking away with Nisha.
This is good stalling.
He's got to be very frustrated. He's not being allowed to hit these buildings. They've got the Yules, they've got the Arrow, they've got the Nightmare, they've got the people. He's forced to go and use the Manta again. Another Nightmare.
Radiant's top tower.
Like you said, it's good stalling. 14 seconds. Is it 4 though coming out from Sumail? He's had enough as they're going to go and immediately punish it. Matu beats down on Sumail. They'll get the kill. He's got to be careful. One more hit. Oh, it's a big one here. They managed to get the beat skip up, but they don't have enough damage. They'll be able to take down Insania. Insania buying back. Wants to be a part of this fight, but these buildings now, they crumble without Nisha having the chance to, you know, get toyed with. They do have a wave being pushed into the base over on the side of the Radiant, but Nisha does not seem to care. He's got an IO, he's got his Manta, he's just going to continue to put some more damage onto this middle racks, and then just casually walk away. Still has the Aegis online.
Yeah,
though.
the whole time he was trying to push top, but it's not... This is not the old Necro Beastmaster. He doesn't push that fast when it comes to taking towers, so... Yeah, he's trying to stall. He cut some waves, but unfortunately that bot wave for Liquid, that pushed in. Sumail does end up going down, though, so that's... Matum is definitely doing a lot of damage on Slardar. You have to look out for that. Nisha's feeling mega unkillable.
They're taking a tower right now, by the way.
Radiant's top barracks are under attack.
Somebody's got to deal with this. Okay, there's Ice.
Yeah, they are sending a couple people back now, but I don't think it can work for so long. Did you get Nightmare off over onto Nisha? Still has the Aegis for another 14 seconds. Put some damage out over onto the Baton. Go and proc his ultimate. Mickey, he's used that BKB. He's going to have to walk away. 3 more seconds on Aegis. Can they turn this around? Do they want to turn this around? Their Nightmare out. We'll go use the Essence Ring on Yapsor.
Mickey, he tried to time it so that he broke the ABBA, silenced him so he couldn't manually press the ult, and then kill him when the ult wouldn't proc because of the break. But unfortunately, the break wore off just at the last second. And so Puppy able to survive that one by just being positioned a little bit better. He was very safely positioned, super far away from Nisha. You'd think he'd be kind of close because he's ABBA and it's a low-range hero, but he understands that he can die in this game, and Nisha had an Aegis. So this guy has 2 lives, 3,000 HP, 10,000 effective HP. He doesn't need to be that close.
Radiant's courier has been killed. Dire's
Nisha's
top
courier
tower
gets
is under attack.
taken out. They have the MKB completed for Matu. Zai also having himself a sheep stick. There's a jump forward from Matu with an arrow, right? Again, over onto Nisha because they get enough damage off in time, though. Zai queuing so much on the back line. Yes, they'll take down Nisha. They'll take down Insania, though. They'll drop to the ground. Sumail clicking away over onto Zai. Matu just trying to hit as many hounds as he can. Trying to get rid of Ice. They'll be able to do it. He's already used the Doom over onto Mickey. Puppy hiding into the tree line. The blink forward from Matu. He's just cutting through everybody like they're butter. And the hunt is on. Multiple buybacks coming out from the side of Secret. This IO, though, is not looking healthy at all. It's an ultra kill for Matu. Sumail's teleporting out. He is running now.
All right, so that was just an all-in from Liquid. They're like, all right, we have to kill Nisha right now. If we don't do this, he's going to take our entire base. It works out. Yapsor actually relocated back to try to get Nisha on the buyback, but in the time that he relocated back, his whole team died. So they just let him die. They just say, all right, we're done. Tries to save him here. Yeah, these supports are trying to keep him alive. The really nice Yule Scepter from Moxie onto Puppy. It's just they completely all in him, and then it works. And on the relocate back, Ice actually ends up going down. Sumail, I think, was expecting to get tethered out so that he'd get that fountain regen, but it didn't end up happening. Just a chaotic fight. They get the gem as well. And then Yapsor's like, okay, well, plans have changed. I'm going to try to tether out, but of course the Hex prevents that. Tumbles like, don't mind if I do. All right. Double damage, eh? Okay.
And the Moon Shard.
All right.
Penta-Edge Sword, MKB, double damage Moon Shard.
Yeah.
Woo! That is, that's gonna hurt if he's able to hit.
You got the Beast Aura too. You also have the buff from the Dinosaur. Another 75 attack speed.
Sir, please, it's a Thunder Hide.
I'm sorry. Ancient Thunder Hide.
Touche.
This man has lived for eons. My boy, the Dinosaur. Checking Roche Pit. Like a good boy.
All right.
We're getting another long one. I mean,
This has been a fun match to watch.
It's even. It's fairly even. The Rax advantage is kind of evening out. You know, just a two racks advantage. Not tower though, so.
Smoke play coming out from Secret. Going through their jungle. They do have some vision up, so.
Looks like they just kind of want to get out on the map, get some wards down. That's fair.
On Mirana. Good lord. Full assault cuirass now for the Kunkka.
Double duty.
Both items kind of doing the same thing, preventing that massive physical damage minus armor from coming out from Nisha.
Yeah.
So the Ethereal Blade being able to make somebody else into ghost form, that is probably going to be one of the more effective things in these team fights.
Right, because like the only major like magic damage that we're seeing is going to be coming up from Sumail.
Yep. Even he's doing a lot of right-click damage at this point too.
True. We are 44 minutes into the game.
I'm realizing now that was Zai's Hex in the previous fight, by the way. This man has a Hex, and presumably he's going to get a Refresher Orb. So this guy's going to have, what, like 12 seconds of pure disable in the next fight? Almost 12, 11 seconds? Yeah, that's going to be nuts.
Got a second smoke coming out from the side of Secret. Again, just trying to reclaim the jungle. Trying to clear it. But Liquid's just playing that top half of the map. They're waiting for Roche to respawn. There'll still be a little bit of time. But they're getting into position. They're making sure that they can't take their triangle over on the side of Secret.
And the one advantage that Secret has, being on this Radiant side and having to deal with the bot lane of Rax, is that they do have a Storm, they do have an IO, so these heroes can get around the map very quickly. The problem is, at this point in the game, with as much damage as both sides have, 1 or 2 seconds can be make or break. So the relocate, getting somebody in, you're going to need to do that very quickly, if not like preemptively, which is quite hard to do. Or you just already be there for the fight, which is exactly why they're fighting.
I feel like you can't relocate in because it's too telegraphed. It gives them enough time to set up.
It does. At this point, it does. The relocate should probably be to get out.
It's a wambulance at this point.
It's a wambulance, absolutely.
All right, this Roach is just, look how fast it just melts. There's no way that Secret will have any time to react to this. So that is going to be Cheese, Refresher Shard, and Aegis. Oh, God.
Yeah, Matumba is perma-stunning people right now with his...
Can we talk about Zai with a Refresher Shard, with the Roar, with the Hex? Like we talked about, that's a lot of just... Yeah,
that's big. That's big. You know, unfortunately for Puppy, Abaddon cannot refresh. Well, I suppose he could with items. The Aphotic Shield. It's, you know, you can roar, Aphotic Shield comes out, and then roar again, and, you know, not so countered at this point.
Positioning is going to be so incredibly important here for Zai for this next fight. Although we do get a double doom now, right? We get the Refresher Orb picked up for Ice, 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 so it's more powerful. He's going to be able to take 2 out of the fight as long as he can get that initiation, right? It's so important that he does not get locked down.
Yeah.
Because again, Mickey, very tanky.
I feel like your ideal Doom targets would be Zai and Mickey right now. I mean, Mickey has, the Dooms have been working wonderfully on him in the fights, but now that Zai has the Hex, he has the Primal Roar, I honestly feel like even without this Refresher Shard, you Doom Zai just so he can't get off that significant amount of chain disable.
Oh, I agree.
Now that it's doubled, even more so. You got to get him out. Just Doom him, even if you don't kill him. Make sure that he's not getting these disables off, because it's too much.
He's also got the oh God, I can't even talk right now.
Quickening Charm.
Quickening Charm. Like, not Quicksilver Amulet, that's the other thing. Yeah, he's got the Quickening Charm, so that way all of his stuff is going to be off cooldown a lot faster.
Yep.
And it's already a big threat.
That's a big boy. Yeah, just kind of chaining across the map, clearing the map, farming, looking for the right pickoff once again. Both of these teams realize how important this series is to win and how close they are. I know I said it in the last game, but you get to the 50-minute mark in a game of Dota 2, and you see a 7K gold lead for a team. It means jack shit. Nothing. It doesn't mean anything. Also, a Rax advantage means very little. This is 100% a game of buybacks. And of course, it favors the team that has the Aegis, especially if you have a slot for it. But, you know, I see. 47-minute Ethereal Blade, very common
First time this patch.
on Abaddon.
On Abaddon.
Very good.
They smoke out. They're hoping to get any sort of information on the side of Secret, but Liquid has already just invaded themselves. And is that... I like this on our Beastmaster. It is the ninja gear. We talk about how important it is that he is able to get into these fights. He's not doomed, not disabled, and able to get off all of these spells with the refresher shard. And this is the exact item, I think, that is necessary.
Yeah, this is nice for him because he can chill with his summons here and give them the auras, and he can, you know, wild access the wave.
The perfect item for him at this point in the game.
Yeah, super nice. Let's see, do we have any important 25s? We have Ghost Ship Fleet from Mickey, who is currently TPing towards that bottom lane, also with Matumba, who has the Indispellable Corrosive Haze. So, suck it, puppy. You're not dispelling shit this game. Not anymore. Now Slardar counters you.
I'm sure that's exactly what Matu's thinking right
He's like,
now.
I'm going to play for that.
Suck it, puppy.
That 25-minute timing, or that level 25 timing versus Abaddon. That's when Slardar counters Ava instead of the other way.
It's finally his time to shine.
Yeah. Almost has a Satanic too. Doesn't want to buy it though. No slot for it currently.
Yeah, if you take a look at buybacks right now, no buyback on Doom, no buyback on Abaddon, and no... Well, we'll have it shortly for Nisha. But everyone else, they've got buybacks available. That might just come down to using those. Again, still have the Aegis on Matu, you've got the cheese on Mickey. It's all about the next engagement. How do you approach?
Now, I would say at this point, if you're Nisha, you're thinking like, okay, I'm getting into rapier territory. But this hero already does so much damage. I feel like you just benefit so much from other items other than rapier. You don't want to double down on the damage. It's just redundant.
What do you want to see on him then?
Probably Scotty. Scotty sounds
Yeah, Scotty would
good.
be really good.
Looking for me?
But he's fairly slotted right now. I mean, all of these items are quite useful for him. There's nothing that he can consume. I think the extra range from the Hurricane Pike is quite important. Arcane Rune on Kunkka.
Bane is so poor comparatively. There's no Aghanim Scepter Dreams for this poor Bane, only nightmares.
Yeah.
And the Refresher Orb is completed. Do have a completed Ag Scepter though for Storm too. So again, some of these bigger items could make or break this next fight.
Yep, the Ags is definitely important because it gives you that potential of hitting multiple heroes.
Arrow over onto Puppy. Mickey getting the Batinda jump forward again. They'll be able to take out Puppy immediately. No buyback. As we stated, the Doom gets used. Gonna be Ghost Ships coming in here. Samel dragging back over Turtles. They go and they use the Roar. They'll buy a little bit more time. They have the Fiend's Grip to hold over onto Samel to get another more off. Zip over onto the back line though. Ice and Samel. They're trying to fight through. They'll end up losing Ice. End up losing Samel. Samel will buy back. Matu though does go down. That Aegis just getting reclaimed. Nisha though trying to just pull back. Again, they have their eyes over onto side. Mickey does have that damage. So they may be able to finish it off. They'll be able to kill Nisha. This is looking very bad for Samel. He's the next one to fall. Oh, Secret. They just get team wiped, and only 2 people on their team have buyback. There's one of them. Might need that IO too, Nisha.
Sai runs immediately back to the base. They're not trying to get thrown right now by some IO play.
I mean, he's got boots to travel, so.
You might have to go for that here. I feel
It's too risky.
I feel like what's risky is Liquid just going throne and then winning the game here.
True, I guess when you got very little to lose, you might as well make those risky plays, but Puppy's gonna be up in a moment. Isle's gonna be up. Sai throwing out that Hawk, wants to keep some vision. They'll use the fortification. ISSI still down for another 50-something seconds. 60-something seconds over on Storm. They'll throw out the boat. Jump forward, okay. Another couple hits here. There's the E-Blade coming to play. They're gonna try to pull back, but immediately gets interrupted. The roar, that's just it. Liquid. They